Be pacing, brother.
All right, and we're live. We got Dookie Love here tonight from InTheBox, my good old colleague Andres, and we got Mr. Twetch celebrity over here, Josh Henslee, and further than that, even all over the place. How you doing today, bud?
Good, you?
I think this is going to be pretty fun. I think we got a lot of little spicy topics to talk about. But before we even get into all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Tell us who you are, where you came from, how you got to where you're here today. So let us know a little bit more about Josh.
I'm gonna put out a little love, get the people in here.
So I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but I live in Silicon Valley now. So I moved here about 2-3 years ago. I used to work at, if you know the big four like accounting firms in the US, I worked at the fifth biggest one. So not a lot of folks have heard about it, but I quit that about 6 months ago to go full-time Bitcoin. Like a lot of folks in the late 2017, when the price went way up, I started paying attention and I've been obsessed with it ever since then. But at first, I got into shit coins and BTC and all that.
Oh, I think we all did.
Yeah, it took about 6-7 months to go to BCH. And then quickly, that got disrupted because of the fork in November. And then now just it's SV. But it's all Bitcoin to me. Like it's, whatever. If you have Bitcoin now, then if it forks again, you're good, right? So as long as you're on the chain that scales and that that keeps extending, it's all it is what it is.
Correct. Do you see any forks coming for BSP or anything like that? What about the Frog.Vision, huh?
Oh,
Frog Vision.
What about the
who
Frog?
knows, man? He might ICO, so we might need to get in on that.
Aren't ICOs all a fraud?
Yeah, of course. I'm kidding. They'll get frog tokens with Kermit on the head or whatever.
Hey, I'm all right with it.
So you got in the bull run. You were in one of the fifth large accounting firm. What do you do for the BSV community right now? Like, what do you bring to the table? What is your value for the BSV?
Do you work for yourself,
currently?
or
What projects are you working on?
Yep. So I'm been self-employed last 6 months. So
that's the way to do it.
yeah, I've got a few things. So I'm doing write for CoinGeek every week, and I help out with some editing stuff. I also am working with Bitcoin Association to do like a curriculum course. Okay. So that's kind of, we did the first pilot about a month ago, but we're working on making a more comprehensive and different layered courses.
Right.
And then I've started.
And is that on a specific channel, specific YouTube channel, or somewhere where people can find this now in case they want to?
Oh, it's still early stages.
Okay.
So hopefully next year we'll have something out for that. And then I've done some work with Unisat, but that's kind of on hold with all this craziness going on. And then I've started my YouTube channel doing dev tutorials, and I'm going to try to keep doing those.
I watched
what
one
languages
today.
are you proficient in?
Sorry?
What languages are you proficient in?
So Microsoft, so I was working we were like a gold partner, and we would resell Microsoft software. So one of the languages they had is called X++, and it's really similar to like C#. Right. So I'm familiar with that, but I've started to learn JavaScript over the past 6 months or so. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Thing on top of the BSV blockchain, right? It's JavaScript or Java or something of that nature is what they're using.
Well, popular one.
Make apps on top of BSV.
Yeah, a popular one is JavaScript. But in theory, any language can be used for it.
I've seen you did a tutorial on the Twetch SDK.
Yes.
That looked like something I could actually possibly do.
Oh yeah, man, it's not hard.
Yeah, I'm no coder or nothing. No dev.
He's a script kiddie.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about the Twetch SDK? It's not too often that we have somebody on that's very good at coding. I mean, we've even had CEOs on here that don't know how to write a line of code. So tell us a little bit about the Twetch SDK from a dev stand of point of view.
I think
Hear
the
my
way,
stepson jamming out on a guitar right now. Can anyone hear that?
yeah.
Sounds good.
So loud. Sorry. Keep going. Anyways, the SDK.
So I think it's pretty easy to do stuff with it. It's the way they built it is they built it in a really smart way to where it's very like straightforward, and documentation that Harry did was really good. So I think it's, if you have a little bit of knowledge, it's not hard to get into there and start messing around with stuff. So and then I'm gonna do a couple more tutorials on it where I get more deep into it and just show how, you know, I think it's pretty straightforward.
What's your plans with it?
My plans?
Yeah.
So,
You got secret plans? What are you building over there?
You're taking over the world, huh, Josh?
So it's not stuff I want to talk about too much right now, but
Okay, I get it.
I have an idea to like post recurring things to Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So with the SDK, that's super easy, or you could just have something running that posts or when something happens, and especially since, you know, it's one ledger, right? You can just listen for certain types of transactions and you can react and say, oh, or you can show the summary of stuff that happened on Twetch, right?
Cool. Awesome. Was you saying something, Andre?
The popular, I'm twetching from the, you know, SDK. What is something cool that you've done with SDK that you don't mind sharing?
I seen him. Remember that Twetch where who got banned on Twitter?
It was Coin Alchemist. It was Phil.
Yeah, it was Coin Alchemist. Yeah. For triggering commies.
Yeah.
And he slash paid him through the SDK. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good stuff.
That's pretty cool.
But if I sometimes I've gone on rants and I'd rather use that than to do it on Twitch because it's faster. I could just type and hit enter and just keep going. So I think from that side, but I haven't built anything yet with it. I've built like some little small things, but nothing crazy. But for what I'm working on, I will use it to do like a recurring type thing.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I've been wanting to build, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. He made it look kind of possible.
I think Python is what I got the furthest with. That was like probably the easiest. Was when I tried learning a little bit of Python, but I got to get back into that. If I want to be an adventure capitalist in 2020, I'm gonna have to learn how to code. Now I know we had Jack on here yesterday, and it was kind of funny, and it's nice when you talk to somebody, you know. What do you think about the whole trade mail? At first it was funny, like, do you think trade mail is an exit scam, whatever? Do you like the way he explains it? What is trade mail to you? Is it an exit scam or what is it?
No, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was cool. I just tested it as soon as he came out, but it worked pretty well. I mean, I think the first thing use I see for it is if the fees can be low, then someone, if they're running a merchant site, they could just accept BSV through their USDC address, right? At usdcpaymail.com. And they are essentially taking dollars, but BSV, right? But the only way that'll work is if Relay can keep the fees low. But then they basically made it so we can use a stable coin on BSV. So I think it's a good thing.
But why not?
Sure, you can speculate on shit coins with it.
Something like why not like try to as instead of putting energy on that, and I do love the idea. I think it's great. I do see some of the bigger things that are possible with it. But why focus your attention on trade when you could do like sell mail and make it easier for businesses that are working in the BSV community to put your relay on your website so you could sell your merchandise or whatever the case is? Why not focus on that as opposed to something like trade mail, in your opinion? Do you think it's too hard for them, or?
I think this might have just been an easy thing. It doesn't seem like it was difficult to implement. And I think something like you're talking about might be more hard. I mean, that's just my first guess.
So in other words, you're saying they can't do it?
Oh, they
No,
definitely can.
Not just not right now, not right away.
See, because we're trying to sell T-shirts, bracelets, and keychains. Our little friend swag bag. I want to be able to collect in BSV, and I want it to be easy. I want to be able to put on our little website, have a little section where you go to the shop part, and then you have the option of swiping money button or clicking relay or whatever the case is, and then having it prompt you to enter your address or what. Like, why not focus on making it easier for businesses like ours to try to sell our merchandise and get BSV, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. But you think that is a hard task to accomplish? Have something like eliminate the shopping cart and just use something like BSV as opposed to a shopping cart?
Well, I think that's possible now. So you could easily set up relay or money button and start accepting through that. And then there's this other tool out there that I think probably has a short lifespan, but it's still useful. It's called Proxy Pay, where you can just take from any wallet. I think like BitSV, they implemented it to where you could scan a QR code and then it would, it gives you the hook ends to where you could, do whatever, like the checkout process.
Yeah, well, Dookie, how do you feel about that? I love trade mail, but again, I know I'm not I haven't been in crypto the longest. Yeah, I got into the bull run. I did the shitcoin thing, whatever, and then I even took a long hiatus off of social media. And when I came back, I learned about BSV and all the things that are happening with it, like apps being built on it. So it gave me more incentive just to look beyond the price. It was more into like looking at what is possible with it. So, I mean, Dookie, you think trade mail was a good way for him to go with that? Or do you think he should have focused on something?
It'd be an easier way to spend your BSV, I believe, right? To purchase from other merchants and people who maybe be accepting BTC or Ethereum or some other kind of coin payment. I don't know. I'm not
that I agree with.
Suave on it.
Now he even said like if you Twetch, you're throwing 2 cents out of the BSV ecosystem. How right is, I mean, because again, me and Dookie, we buy BSV, we spend BSV, we earn BSV, but I guess knowing about some of the technical, economical sides of it, every time I like a post and I send 4 cents to Josh Henslee and a penny goes to Moisty, is that taking that BSV out of the ecosystem like trade mail is taking it out of the ecosystem?
No, because the only reason you would like someone's post is if you felt like it was worth the amount of Bitcoin you gave, right? Or more.
So how would it differ from like a trade mail?
Well, trade mail is just exiting, right? It is getting out of BSV, but it's leveraging the capabilities of it, but using some other currency. I mean, the way I look at it is in the long run, if a lot of people use it, it's going to increase the volume, which is going to make the network better. So even though people are getting out and getting into other crap coins or whatever, that still increases the transaction count. So it's still positive because it makes miners more money. It makes it more valuable because you can do more stuff with it.
So you said you used it. What shitcoin did you get?
Oh, I used Tether for the first time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I've never used any of those. Those are what you call stable coins or whatever the case is, right? That would be like a stable coin, right?
Yeah. USDC is pretty good though, because that one's fully regulated by the US and it's backed as far as I know. And I mean, I've always had good experience using it.
That's freaking amazing. So what do you think about the BSV community in general? Like as a community? And I mean, you can see a lot of the community on Twitch.
That's kind of like this question we got here.
On Twitter as
we have a question that kind of covers both ends.
Yeah, so I think now...
What's the most exciting thing in BSV? And what pisses you off the most about BSV?
Well, I think clearly all the innovation right now is happening on Twitch. I mean, they just keep adding stuff over and over. And I think they're adding stuff that's going to be useful to a lot of people.
Network, the Moisty.app network.
I think they're adding stuff that's going to be useful to other people. And I think that's the key, right? If you're building stuff that other people, because I'm already starting to find that depending on how people build their stuff, is they might do work for someone else to where they don't have to do it. So that makes them go faster, right?
Mhm.
So, sir, you know, I think build like, because it's understanding that it's one ledger, right? So like
Yep.
thinking in the old way doesn't make any sense, because now it just if it makes sense for you to be more like unique, right? Do what only you can do, because if you try to do something that's like base or that's you know, easy for someone else to do, someone else could easily do that better. You know, it just makes
Correct.
sense to like
Right.
build on top of what someone else is doing versus trying to like redo the same crap that is already done in the old way, if that makes sense.
I see Morsi
I
trying to turn around and telling people, "I'll buy it from you. You build this
Yeah.
on here, I'll buy it from you."
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'll
which
give
is
you the
sweet. I
tools.
haven't you gotten paid for a couple articles using /pay?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what I love about /pay, because I've been thinking a lot about a troll tool as well, and I'll get into that. Again, I haven't tested a couple things, but I liked it at first. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know, because but we'll get into /pay. For /pay, in my opinion, was genius.
Yeah.
Genius. It allows you to instantly tip or pay or purchase or lend or whatever the case is instantly without, I mean, yeah, Twetch is the middleman, whatever the case is, but it's an instant transaction that goes into your wallet instantly. So you put up an article that you wrote, you put up a link on Twetch, and 10 minutes later somebody likes it. They don't have to, you know, do the bat token thing on Twitter or whatever the case is. They could just write /pay, boom, done, you got money, right?
And it's public. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing, is that everyone
Yeah.
can see it. So everyone knows what someone paid for that good or service.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes. So it gives it a valuation almost,
Mhm.
right? I like that. I didn't even.
And then
about it that way.
one thing I got annoyed with is seeing people post hand cash screenshots when they would give out money. And I'm thinking, dude, we have a ledger. Like we have a immutable
Yeah.
ledger. Why are you posting screenshots of hand cash? No one can verify that shit. It's like,
And
oh yeah, I
and
gave someone $10,000. How do I know?
so, but then also, yeah,
And
that's
that
right.
happened too.
I just
Yeah.
heard this and I wasn't sure, because again, we're more consumers, we're more users of the coin. Is hand cash on chain or is that off chain?
No, it's on chain.
It is, so it is on chain. But what do you mean when they show screenshots? Like it would just be
Like,
photoshopped or
so-
manipulated?
Half of it's on chain.
Like
I
someone,
think is how he was putting it.
it's not an issue with hand cash. It's people that are saying, that are like posting, oh, I gave away this amount of money, and they show a hand cash screenshot. But like that's like saying you could easily make that up, right?
Yeah, you can manipulate.
Like the pay command is the opposite. It's like you could go on there and see exactly where the inputs and the outputs went to, right?
That is correct.
That's the whole point of Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me ask you a question, because you're obviously a big influencer on Twitch. A lot of people know who you are. They enjoy the content you put out. You get paid for it. What's the difference between being an influencer on Twitch and Twitter? Which do you find better? How about that? What do you like? Where do you like influencing more?
Well, I don't even write to Twitter directly anymore. The only time it's through Twitch. I mean, other than retweets or whatever. I mean, what I'd like to do, I would love to just get off Twitter altogether. That would be great. But you know, it's part of it. It's like, you know, there are some good things about it, but Twitch is just, I'll put it like this. I limit my time on Twitter. I don't limit my time on Twitch. And I think because of the money aspect to it.
So anybody watching that is helping to build on Twitch should be very, very happy about that comment right there, right?
I would think so, yeah. Because it makes it more, I mean, the whole reason that we have the internet as is because there was no way to do micropayments, right? So like, that's why people can't grasp the concept of, oh, I can make a cent for something.
Yeah. Or fraction.
Like,
Right.
yeah, like they can't like deal with that. Like they can't mentally deal with it. So it's like when it emerges, it's fascinating, right? And then stuff that becomes possible that wasn't before. So like the idea of, you know, just shit posting on Twitter all day for free. It's like, why would you do that when you can do it for not for free?
Yeah. Now,
Right.
like
I just think of Twitter more as promotional.
Yeah.
I play on Twitch. I just use Twitter to pump info out into
Yes.
the web,
Yeah.
basically.
Which we actually should be doing more from in the box. Twitter should be a way to onboard people onto Twitch and make them see it easily. Because right now, there's in my opinion, I'm a Twitch fanboy. I love Twitch, and I think Twitch right now is the best social media network out there as far as everything is concerned, as far as censorship, as far as instant payments, as far as anything you could think of, immutability, being on chain, transparency, everything. It really is good. So until something changes my mind, and I'm very outspoken about most things, yeah, that's that. But my big gripe though, you know what I know, and I haven't tested it out yet. With the troll toll, right? First of all, my biggest problem with it, at first I thought it was great. Everybody's on the bandwagon. Everybody's yay, yay, yay. So you're going with the crowd. You're like, yay, yay, yay. Then you put the tablet, you put the computer down, you put the phone down for a minute, and you're like, whoa, you're starting to think, right? Like, we set a troll toll on ourselves, kind of just to give it a shot, right? Set a troll toll on yourself. And to me, the warning is not big enough. I know you see the dollar amount, for example, but if you're trying to for example, if you're doing an impulse Twitch, which not a lot of people do, but if you just swipe it by accident, that's it. You know, you paid your troll toll. So it's almost like if somebody is smart, they could almost fish you into reacting quickly after they set a troll toll, and all of a sudden you paid whatever the case is.
I see them innovating that quite a bit. Pretty soon they're going to be making it where you're going to have like a troll toll on everybody, and you can have like a paywall or something where someone's got to pay 5-10 cents to interact.
But if you get troll told and you don't know you're being troll told, or it's in the morning or something, or whatever the case is, you're not paying attention, and you swipe that, you're not going to be a happy camper. What do you and how would that work?
It was like $100 and you thought it said $1.
Yeah, I haven't tried it with OnePay. If somebody has a troll toll on you and you reply and you have OnePay, are you just automatically paying that? It gives you like a little.
If you use it with the Relay One Touch, I think you won't see this as an issue, because if you try the One Touch, it brings up the dialogue and says, "Hey, they put a troll toll on you," and then it has the amount. So it's very obvious, right?
So it's more.
Yeah, I think it breaks down. It gives you a little banner. Yeah, that's right.
I do love it, but I do see improvements, like as far as warning people. Can you imagine you're a new user, somebody sets a troll toll on you, 50 cents, whatever the case is, you don't even really know, and you go to swipe and there goes your 50 cents. So I'm just looking out, obviously, because I'm probably one of those.
Don't be trolling.
I'm one of those people that would just like, swipe and not paying attention. I only troll in the box for marketing. The green paper. What's up with that, bro? You think it's worth the $2.18 to read it?
Probably not.
Probably not. What about the friend swag bag? You think it's worth the $40? Shirt, bracelet, keychain?
I saw that, but I didn't look deeply at it. I didn't zoom in or whatever. I just saw it in passing. I need to check that out.
We forgive you. We forgive you for that one, Josh. It's all right. But green paper is a no, right? You're not going to pay $2.18 for that.
Well, I think I
know somebody who did.
Unless they changed the words, I saw it before they posted it. So it looked like the same as the white paper, just green, and changed with his user number.
Yeah, and with Josh's info on the top of it instead of Craig's or Satoshi's.
Yeah.
Not very smart marketing. If you want to charge for your content, don't release it before you put it out.
Well, they could have changed it. That's the thing. I don't know, right?
Yeah, but don't put the exact same thing out, right?
Yeah.
What else, man? There's so many good things to talk about, but I want to get into some of the really spicy stuff, like growing up. And I love this question because I've always been a big gamer.
I want to hear what you're.
Sorry.
15 years.
It broke up.
You were breaking up a little bit.
Is it my side?
No, I don't think it's your side.
Oh, no, it's his.
What did you enjoy gaming growing up?
Sorry?
Did you enjoy gaming growing up? Did you have what was your first system, Brett?
NES.
NES? Favorite games?
So now
what took up most of your time?
I mean, as a kid, definitely Pokemon and like
Okay.
Final Fantasy.
All right, all right.
I'm
That's a
big
bad
in
answer sleeping because that's probably why he is sleeping. He was playing that late last night. What do you think about the new Final Fantasy remake?
I haven't played it yet. I got the demo, but that's 7 was one of the few that I hadn't played before. But I beat
And
the first 6.
and what are you playing now? Do you still game to this day?
A lot less since I got into Bitcoin. But there's some older RPGs that I'm playing that I don't think a lot of folks have heard about. It's called like the Saga series.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Carandia?
Sorry?
Carandia?
No.
Oh wow. These are some old games. I'm revealing my age way too much. Carandia, that was a great game if anybody knows what that was. So
you into any conspiracy theories? We got some good ones cooking up right now, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't matter crypto, regular politics. What's up, man? What do you like to delve into when you're feeling like in a conspiracy mode?
We know TK's got his library that keeps him busy.
That's every day, man. Like I used to think, because I started getting into all that stuff with like the Fed and 9/11 and all that right before I got into Bitcoin. And I used to think that all that stuff, there's like, deep state and all that type of stuff. But the more and more I learn and talk with people, I think it's just more stupidity than anything else, and like arrogance. It's just more like humans messing up than it is some grand plan to like enslave humanity, or some folks might think that, like some of these leaders might want that, but I don't think there's
something's going on.
Yeah, and I think it makes it seem like that, but I think, like, for example, what the Fed and the government is doing right now, I think it's just pure incompetence, and they're also trapped. Like they have no other choice.
How much was it now? Like 2 trillion or something like that? What was the number?
Yeah, like the Fed's balance sheet. Yeah, I mean the rate they're printing money, I think by 2000, basically since the Fed got installed up until 2000, the money supply was less than $1 trillion, and now it's almost 7 trillion in only 20 years, something like something crazy like that.
That's insane. That's crazy. So now comparing that to, for example, Bitcoin, how it's like deflationary. How do you see that as a double-edged sword, maybe as well, or what do you think about that?
Deflation is a good thing.
Like how you can't you cannot mine beyond 21 million. After that, it's all transaction fees. What do you think about that as compared to like what we're doing now?
I think it's great. I think that because at that time it'll just push prices down, right? And it'll push what you have to pay for stuff less, but it'll be more valuable, right? So yeah, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, but there's really some absurd amount of Satoshis, right? So the unit of account will just get smaller and smaller. So it's much better to have a fixed supply of something, because, and there's no reason to worry about it not ending up in people's hands, because the question becomes, why would I spend Satoshis on something? It's only if you're getting something in exchange for it, right?
Yeah.
So that means you need to produce. That's why the HODL thing is dumb. Is because, what's the point of holding something that you can't use to buy anything? Like, it's worthless, right? Like,
correct.
Even though the Fed's printing all this money, a good example is like, I posted about this. It's like, lots of people have issues with living paycheck to paycheck. But there are some people who are totally unaffected by this whole crisis, right?
Yep.
And have money to spend. But we can't even spend it because they closed all the businesses down. So like, I want to give my money to these restaurants, but I can't because the government said no. But they basically made my money less valuable. So not only are they making it less valuable by inflating it, but they're reducing where I can use it at.
Correct. Kind of shrinking the collaborative unit almost, right?
Yeah.
Where you could use this unit at, because, and even for example, it was just announced in Florida today, Ron DeSantis announced that K through 12 is closed for the end of the year. So a lot of people, they think, great, at least, homeschooling, because homeschooling is better. But at the same time, we live in a society nowadays where it's usually uh, either single, parent working, or both parents working. So
Mhm.
what happens to the parents now when businesses start opening up again,
Right.
and you can't uh, send your kids to school? So one parent has to stay home. I mean, I think, what I think is going to be huge? Mark my words, speakeasy schools. You're going to have a bunch of little teachers that are going to start doing their own business, saying, hey,
Yep.
pay me cash. I'm good at what I do. I'll take care of your kids. I'll make sure they're clean, everything like that. And watch, speakeasy schools is going to be huge.
And they'll make a shitload of money.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. For sure. And why not accept something like BSV for that, right?
Oh yeah.
Or you could just exit out your BSV with trade mail and pay them in Ethereum.
Yeah. Exit into ETH.
Yeah. You heard it first right here from my boy Josh Hensley. Let, let me ask you a question. What run us through a daily life of Josh? What do you do?
So now I'm big into coffee. So my girlfriend got me an espresso machine for Christmas. So I'll either do that in the morning or a pour over. So we get if you guys, I don't know if you guys have heard of Pete's, but they're like a popular roaster in California. And like their
No,
coffee is really good. So have a cup of that in the morning. Usually check all the news and stuff, see what happened, especially now. Hoping that some of these people have some sanity and let the businesses open it back up. But typically in the morning, it'll start either coding something or do one of those jobs I mentioned earlier, something for them, and try to knock stuff like that out. And one good thing about this lockdown is being able to work out easily, right? Just go out and run around or, do workouts at home. I'm not big on weights, so working out at home is easy for me.
calisthenics,
Yeah.
right? It's good enough. Yeah.
And then typically nighttime we cook. We either end up watching a movie or playing around on our phones or video games or whatever. Or I might end up still coding late. Just depends on how things are going.
I think it was you that maybe correct me if I'm wrong. And I thought this was something cool that I'm pretty sure it was you. I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. That if you focus more time on getting stuff done in a small amount of time, for example, 3-4 hours, why work a full 8-hour day and having little intermittences or losing focus when you could do the same amount in a 4-hour day and then just be done with it? Can you elaborate on a little bit more on that? Because when I heard that, and I'm pretty sure it was you, I was like, wow, that is I never looked at it that way. That's pretty good.
I know even when I was still working, I started questioning the 8-hour a day, 40-hour a week thing because it's really stupid. Like the fact that you have everyone working at the same time and the same days, and then you start asking questions like, why is there traffic? Right? It's so dumb. It's like, why? Especially because yes, you get programmed to do that after you keep doing it, but it's like, why would you limit the times you work to the same schedule? Because things change, right? So sometimes, okay, maybe it's Sunday night and you want to get work done or you just feel like it.
Yeah.
But then, like, if you do that, why should you still be held accountable to work 40 for the week when you did maybe 8 on a Sunday? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's just people, some jobs, it depends, right? Like if you're a customer service or whatever. But I think Bitcoin will kind of make that whole paradigm obsolete because it's up 24/7. So there's not going to be this concept of, it kind of revolves around like the markets and the banks, right? And the government. But if most of the economic stuff is happening 24 hours, that whole thing disappears.
Yeah, that is very true. And another thing that I've been hearing a lot of talk about on is metrics on chain.
Yeah.
That's another thing with instant. I think it was Jack that said, why have a CFO with board meetings every 3 months, this and that? When you have full transparency on chain, you can see whatever you want how would you implement that in a business that you run? Like, would you go with that transparent way, or would you rather stay private? Run us through something like that.
Well, I think it depends on what you're doing. Like if you're a public, then yeah, I mean, it should obviously be there, because then I think I watched the interview with Jack and you guys. It was really good. And what he was saying was yeah, I mean, you just point at the chain and say, go take a look. But like that will decrease any fear that potential investors have. Because if you're regularly putting your stuff out there, people will want to buy it more, right? Because they trust you. So like it's just gonna make your stocks go up. But then it's gonna increase the competition, because then people start asking questions. Well, why isn't, if company A is doing it, why isn't company B doing it?
Correct.
And
yeah.
one thing,
and it's easier to follow the money.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
One thing I thought that was really funny is this whole miner ID thing, right? So Tall, the miner, they implemented it, right? And then they stopped doing it. And they said the reason they said they stopped doing it was because they thought, some investors thought that was going to be a metric of how many blocks they were winning. And I thought to myself, that is the exact reason that we want miner ID. So people can see how many blocks you're winning, right?
Correct.
So like they were saying, oh, because investors thought that this is going to be a metric of the amount of block rewards we get and how much Bitcoin we're earning and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes.
That's what people want to see. That's what people want to see, right?
I don't know it was nuts, man. Like that was.
How did they try to spin that? I mean, what was their spin on it? I don't know too much about the whole mining world. What was their like spin on it? I'm sure they had to put some spin.
I think their investors were just confused, because I don't think they implemented it on all their machines, so it wasn't a true representation of how many blocks they were winning, if that makes sense.
Again, going back to putting either all of your business on chain, making it fully transparent, and in hopes of people seeing that they could follow the money, they know that you're good, whatever the case is, and have the confidence to invest on you. If you're putting it half off, what's going on with that money? So yeah, and again, going back to that interview with Jack, I think he was saying that's why the US gets such big investment, because they kind of have like a motto of being public with their companies, and there's been nothing more public since then until now, which is Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know here when the big tech companies release their earnings numbers, if they're good, the stock will go up by like 4% in a day. So you just imagine if that's happening on Bitcoin.
Yeah. What do you think about the little spike today? I think it went over 200. We don't talk about the price much here. I tried to never look at the price. What do you think?
Who knows? People just speculating or whatever. I mean, the price going up, I think overall is probably a good thing, but there's bad parts about it too. Even though I don't really subscribe to the $5 meme, but it is funny.
Already?
Yeah, it is really funny. But
it is.
The one part about it that, I don't think a lot of people like to hear is if it did go to $5, it doesn't matter. Like nothing changes. Everything still works.
But there's always talk about that $1,200 number.
Oh, that.
What do you think about that magic $1,200 number?
Well, it's like,
when do you think that would happen?
I didn't know.
How far away do you think that will be?
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, it could be this year, but who knows? Someone might, I think it's only a matter of time before more speculators come in. So it's not crazy to think that'll happen. But I just thought it was funny that, Craig already gets enough shit, right? And then I didn't know that he was Nostradamus. You know what I mean? It's like, why is it just because he's like an academic genius and he created Bitcoin, why is he also a ability to predict the future, right? So it's like when he predicted it, and then if I go back and read the context, to me, it's obvious that he was fucking around, but some people beg to differ because, Aussie man bad, right? But like if you're in a comedy club,
it goes from one word.
If you're in a comedy club, right, and someone says, yeah, this has a 99.6.24% chance of happening, it's obvious that they're kidding. But with Craig, no, he's just Aussie man bad. He lied to everyone. He defrauded everybody, But people were just mad because he didn't pump their bags. That's all that is.
You heard it here. You heard it here from my boy Josh. Stop being mad because
Yeah,
Satoshi didn't pump your bags, or
exactly.
let's just call him Craig Wright. Let's just call him Craig. Um, uh, what about this little? Speaking of Craig, what about the whole little? We're gonna dump coins at one of these happenings.
No, no.
Tulip
It's
Trust. What do
like,
you think about that?
I think, so here's my opinion on that. He said so many different things that it's hard to believe any of it. And then also it's like, why would he do that? Right? Like, okay, here's something I've been thinking about lately. Let's say there's a lot of people involved in BSV that had Bitcoin in like 2010, right? And chances are they have not sold, right? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But imagine now, if you're sticking around and you see all these people building stuff, what's going to happen when people start to deploy their BTC in a way that produces stuff versus just dumping it to enrich themselves, right? I think some of that has happened already, right? But just imagine when that happens more in mass. I've already heard people talk about this, and I think that that's something that BSV probably has a huge advantage over other cryptos, is that there's a lot of things being built. And if some of these guys decide to like actually deploy their capital in a way that ends up producing stuff versus just, you know, gambling on the price
So
and
build
holding
instead of dump.
I think that's the much more logical thing for Craig to do.
Putting that money back to work, right?
Yeah. And then I think the reason he's changed his mind so much is there's a Daniel Krawitz video from October 2018. It's called, I Think I Figured Out InChain's Business Model. And if anyone hasn't seen that, I highly recommend watching that. But in there, Daniel says that I think Craig is also constantly learning about Bitcoin. And if you understand that, and you think that's true, a lot of his actions make sense, because it's not that he's just ultra genius that has everything figured out. Sure, some of the things, but I think his knowledge is growing along with everyone else's.
Well, I mean, you know what we speculated on the show here, right? And I'm pretty darn sure about
What's
it.
that?
You know who the real Satoshi is, right? It is Daniel Kraswitz. He is the real Satoshi. Dan, if you see this, I love you, man. You're amazing. I like having him on here was so cool, just to be able to kind of pick his brain. And then Coin was on at the same time, and they were going off and on about the
that was great, man.
I was just like sitting back like,
it was great that you guys let that happen too, that you didn't interrupt him, because sometimes hosts get in the way, but that was good that you guys just let him duke it out.
I think we were more speechless. I don't think even if we wanted to interrupt.
Because I didn't expect that either.
No, I didn't either. It was great, and it was funny. They were like, "Oh, is everything all right with Coin and Dan and this and that?" And Coin was telling me that people were asking him, and he was like, "Man, it was an hour and a half video, and we argued for a few minutes. Of course, we're okay. You know, they're like, we're one team." And I always like promoting both of them, and they're doing two great things. Have you seen that update that came out on bitcoinfiles.org, where now they just have the sweet little button? If you go to bitcoinfiles.org now, they have the boost button under it. So before it was just a file, now you can add proof of work after the fact to the file. Yeah. I thought that was an amazing update. And if I'm not wrong, and I hope one of the updates soon is to Twetch is gonna be implementing that boost ranking system within Twetch. Your thoughts?
I think there's so many use cases for it.
PC gaming, did you play games like Diablo, anything like that?
I remember my friend playing it when I was a kid, but I've never played that. I mean, I get it. It's very similar to what I play, but I haven't played it.
What would you play, like Baldur's Gate or something? What was the name of that game you said that possibly not too many people know what it is?
Oh, it's like the Saga series. It's more obscure. It's like Final Fantasy's cousin or something.
You gotta send me the link on that so I could try it out, man. That sounds really freaking cool. And just really quick, I know we've been going here for a while, and I'm really enjoying every minute of this. I really hope you're having a good time too, and hopefully it's making you laugh a little bit. Where can people find you on Twitch? Where can they find you as far as when you write your articles on CoinGeek? What is the best way to reach out to Josh? What is the best way to / pay you? Give you a little bit of that morning coffee money for some good quality Joe.
I'm 145 on Twetch and Crypto Acorns on Twitter. So feel free to reach out to me on either platforms. And then I'm in the Slack, all the Slacks, like the Atlantis one, and then the Twitch, now it's Mattermost or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I encourage people to reach out.
What about all these little dramas going on right now with what's up with this Calvin Air Moisty thing? Have you seen this? I mean, I've been seeing it here and there. Well, what's up with this? And now Craig Wright, says Craig Wright is banned from Twitch.
That was
what
awesome.
Are your thoughts on that?
That was awesome. So there's it's funny, man, because like there's some people who think that a lot of the shit that people have been doing in their companies doesn't make any sense anymore. So like I know this is something that like Coin Alchemist and Mark Wilcox have been talking about. I think they said something like, imagine having a marketing department in 2020. And it's like, if you really think about it, right, with the internet and how it is, it's like, why would I hire 12 people to sit around and plan how we're going to market when I can just find the best 4chan trolls and just do shit on Twitter, right? And just get stuff out there. And, I can pay them way less than those 12 people. Why wouldn't I just do that? So like this marketing strategy, yeah, some people don't like it, but you can't please everybody, right? Some people are going to be pissed off. But either way, people look at it, right? That's the type of behavior Twitter incentivizes. So I think it was funny. I thought it was really funny. Mm-hmm. And then,
I really thought it was funny too.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I'm going to announce it live with you right now, Josh, just so the people know. A lot of people have been wanting Moisty to come on, give us a little talk about Twetch. I'm actually banning him from this show right now. So I'm sorry. I'll do it formally. Josh Petty, I do apologize. You are banned from InTheBox. That interview we had set up for you down the road. If you would like, Josh, we'll be more than happy to give you that spot. So, but we could talk about that later. The BSV community, and again, with the whole building, everything is what's gotten me so excited about it. And again, I rarely look at the price. All these new things happening on Twitch. Have you noticed an influx of how many new users have been coming in? Especially over the last few days. Like we didn't do the little Twitch culture daily thing for a few days. And what we try to do every time we do it, we say thank you to the new users. We go over their Twitches, especially if they didn't use the default one. And we've been doing pretty well as far as gaining a following on Twitch doing that and putting out, I would say, pretty decent content. But I have been hearing, and I know I mentioned a little bit earlier, but if you would like, only if you'd like to take a little take on it, everybody's saying right now, like this is the Moisty Network, he's the one on top. Why is the co-creator on top? What's your take on that? Do you think it's discouraging people from trying to move up the leaderboard, which is taken by the whole Twitch staff, or do you think it's what's your take on it? I'll just leave it there.
Do you mean just on Twitch or Bitcoin in general?
Just
Sorry?
Just on Twitch.
Oh.
Like being at the top of the leaderboard and this and that, and as a new user, you come in and all you see is, Moisty at the top. And again, it's almost like, how some people say it's almost cult-like, whatever.
I see, yeah. So I think, like I was thinking about this, the branch function, it doesn't really do much right now. If you're like in the top 50 with followers or whatever, because the common amount between them is probably the same, right? So like, for example, if the Frog has 1,000 followers and then Randy has 800, what's the point of the Frog branching it? You know what I mean? Because he's only exposing that to maybe 200 more people. But this is only an issue as long as the platform is small, right? But I think once people are able to start building stuff with the SDK, and like I think they can build their like own sub communities. So then you'll see that, and then with more people, branching will be a bigger thing, right? So I think the reason the leaderboard is out there and those two dominate it is kind of like how Satoshi was early mining, if that makes sense, right? Like someone's got to push it along while it's still early. But then as time goes on, hopefully more people will be able to get in and make stuff happen.
One big thing that we had mentioned one time was like having your own top feed within your profile. So if somebody clicks on your profile and they say, wow, Josh got, 20 likes on this and I missed this one because I wasn't on the platform yet, let me branch it. And then helping you get up with the leaderboard like that. Dookie is really big in favor of that, because he's like, I want to go into somebody's profile, the top, see what they've got the most likes on, so I kind of know what they're about, or vice versa, and see why they didn't get likes on a post like this, because it's going to make me easier to just follow if somebody follows you. Like if somebody follows me, I'm usually pretty good. I just swipe whatever, no biggie, thanks for the follow, and I follow back. But if you're picky about who's in your feed, whatever the case is, would be like a really easy way to vet it.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
When do you see like the first like big fork coming out? When is how long do you think before somebody drops their own Twetch version?
That's hard to say, because I think there's a small number of people using it. So that's what we're going to try to do with me doing these tutorials, is hopefully get the word out, because I think it's just that no one knows about it. But and then I think there's a fear, right? Because if people, especially non-coders, look at that GitHub and they say, oh, I can't do this, and they just go away, right? But if there's a video out there, maybe they'll think, oh, this isn't too hard. That was a lot of feedback I got on that video I did. So hopefully I can do that with the other two that we're going to do.
When you do like a Twetch to tweet, do you usually put the link in there as well? Do you hide the link?
It depends.
Do you try to make it crisp and clean?
It depends.
Do you format your Twetches for Twitter? It depends.
I don't format. I mean, if I format
like you're writing a Twetch.
It's for Twetch, yeah. But
Okay.
I think a couple other people talked about this, is that if you post something like, if you like just like the laughter emojis, and then you have the link, people will be curious about that, right? Because like, oh, what is this person laugh? Or like you say, this is X, that'll make people go back to Twetch. Yeah.
No. I really stopped caring about my Twitter since back then. And actually before I really got back into crypto, because I was in the little bull run. I made a couple bucks. I lost. Sick of Twitter, all the shadow, all the censoring, and then 2-3 later, you're like, hey, this guy posts all the time. What happens to him? You go to the account, the person's banned, whatever the case is. What do you think BSV right now is being shadow banned globally as far as the mainstream? I mean, like if you look at, for example, Coinbase, when was the last time they did a major article on BSV on a big platform like Coinbase?
Well, Coinbase, I'm sure they have their own reasons for not listing it. I mean, if you apply like straightforward, they think it's a shit coin and they're concerned about all these so-called network issues, so they just don't want to add it. Do I think there's some conspiracy against BSV? No. Now, some of the crypto people, like the top people, I think they already know what the deal is. So they might be actively trying, like CZ, Jesse Powell, Roger Ver, those guys, they know, right? So they might be actively doing stuff, but nothing I don't think there's some grand conspiracy. I think it's way too small, man. I mean, Money Button has what, 20,000 users? I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Right? I mean, if you take away the weather stuff and the pricing data, the transaction count is still really low, right? So like the idea that there's some huge conspiracy, no. It's too little.
So you don't think there's bigger hands in play saying, hey, we don't want this coin we don't want BSV on Coinbase, right? You don't think there's bigger hands at play, something like that?
the reason they gave, as far as I know, is because of their perceived network problems that they don't want to deal with, right? Now, it could be that the guy knows, right? He could, because he's been around for a while, and he just doesn't want to list it. I mean, it is insane that he supports every shit coin under the sun, but he doesn't support a top 6 coin. Right? That's just crazy. And from a pure profit perspective, it doesn't make any sense for him not to list it, right? So it's
like
possible.
the number 1 performing asset this year still, something like that, or
I know over the last
to,
year,
like in the top.
If you just go 1 year, like back to last April, 100% it is, because it was like $60 last May. Yeah.
So what do you think is the problem then? Again, that's why, like, for example, I do love conspiracy theories. I'm not saying there is a conspiracy about this. I don't know enough about it to say that there's a conspiracy, but don't you think that's almost kind of funny? Like that they wouldn't, like you said, they wouldn't list a top 6 coin that's 100% done better over the last 365 days.
Yeah, it's I mean, you could argue the reason he added Bitcoin Cash was because of whatever Roger did. And you know how that was a huge pump. I mean, it went up to almost $4,000. So they definitely benefited from that. I don't know if maybe they don't see the ability to benefit the same way from doing that with SV.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that because, like, for example, like I went on Coinbase not too long ago just to see, like, what's the last article that they wrote about BSV. Again, I come from like political Twitter. I was never into crypto Twitter or anything like that. So being in political Twitter, and I'm like libertarian, conservative, whatever you want to call it, I'm on the right side of the center. You do see a lot of shadow banning. You do see a lot of censoring. You do see a lot of things like this. Like you're wondering, like, why would they not carry this, but they would carry this? So when I got into BSV, and I've been pretty much all in ever since. Yeah, all in ever since. I was lucky enough to hear from Kevin Pham, my boy. Love you, Kevin Pham. Everybody hates Kevin Pham. I love you, Kevin Pham, because of you, I'm on here tonight. But again, it's so big with all the building and everything like that. How is it that the world is not seeing more about all these applications that are being built? Or, like, for example, again, I'm not a programmer, but how are people not knowing about the whole Turing complete and all this going back to Genesis? Why is that not, like, for example, a story on Coinbase?
I think because the social media sock puppets have done a great job of spreading disinformation, right? I mean, the amount of the level of understanding of how this stuff works is so poor. I mean, even in SV, it's not great, right? There's still a lot of stuff that's misunderstood, right? Like I see people still freaking out about hash rates. It's like, dude, nothing's gonna happen, man. Like these miners, all they care about is dollars. That's all they give a shit about. They're not gonna attack a chain, right? They're not gonna there's no secret plan. Like it's just, yeah. So
but why wouldn't they like profit? Well,
no, they do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like what would be the reason? Like you said, why are you freaking out when they're in it for the money? Why would they be here if they could be mining there and making still the full reward as of right now?
Exactly. Like even Roger, right? Roger talks all this shit about BCH, but at the same time, most of his hash is on BTC. Same with Calvin, right? It's like they talk so much bad about it, but they're slaves to the price in the end, right? They can't help but mine something that's $7,200, even if it's a shit coin. So that's what I mean. They're profit driven, right? So, you know, we can talk about, yes, I think some degree was altruistic, mining SV, especially when it was like $50, but, you know, and you can argue that's not altruistic, right? Because that's paid dividends in only just a year.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, that's looking from the miner side, but if you're looking to earn a coin right now, BTC, BCH, BSV, as a normal Joe, right? Average Joe, you just got into it. You don't want to put money into it. I want to earn $5 so I could see what this is about. What coin are you going with?
I mean, the only one that's feasible is SV. Yeah.
How easy is it to earn some BSV as a newcomer? You just came across it on Twitter. It's been coming across your feed. You decide to click on it. And how easy would it be to earn BSV if you really wanted to?
I think it is kind of easy. I still think it's not as good as it could be. I think the best way is the Tonic Pal stuff because you can share links and you don't need any Bitcoin for that.
Yep.
Twetch, you still need Bitcoin, right? And that's
Unless you get the invite link, right? Then you get
Right.
like free Twetch, right?
Yeah.
Which you can, and you know how the Twitch community is. They are very uh, generous. They're very caring. They don't like trolls. If you make a good post, use that post wisely. You could start earning right off the bat.
And the
Now, how
first
about
thing is great too.
yeah? Now, on the opposite spectrum, how easy is it to spend BSV?
Nah. But that pay command is better, right? Because
Yep.
I think like I've been thinking about putting bounties out there for stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that opens it up. And then I think I hope by the end of this year we'll see more things that you can actually buy shit with it.
Yes.
And
Spend my
not
bit.
just not consumer stuff, but like digital things.
Yes. Like for example, writing articles, making memes, whatever the
Yes.
case is. But
Or
I
like
do, as important as I think that digital stuff is, in a time right now, that if you know, before this whole, whatever you want to call it, happened, right? The whole world halted before the whole world stopped. I don't want to say anything that's gonna, hoax, whatever. But before this whole thing started, like, let's say you put some of your money to BSV, you're like, BSV is gonna pump. All of a sudden, you're out of a job. How long do you think before? How easy will it be to make it to buy groceries? Like, if a grocery store wants to start accepting BSV, how is the BSV community focused on helping regular small business owners? No,
there's no
right?
reason. Like there's no reason. That's why the whole narrative with BCH trying to get retail, it's like it's dumb. It's like, why would I accept BSV when I can't buy anything with it? Now, from a person
Correct.
who's already inside, sure, you might take it, right? Like, let's say if I start a web
Yeah.
store selling games or something, of course I'll take it, right? But that's because I know about it. But just for asking some random dude that you don't even know, hey, take this shit coin. He's like, why? He can't, all he's going to do is sell it for fiat. It doesn't make any sense. Now, when there's stuff that he can buy with it, okay, if one of his suppliers is taking it, oh, okay, now this makes sense, right?
So it would have to start at the supply chain. Like we hit up Charmin and say, hey, I want, just ran out of toilet paper in my little store. Things are getting crazy. I have BSV. Would you be willing to accept BSV? Then in turn, giving the supplier BSV, receiving your product, and then in turn selling it to for BSV to the consumer. So you think it would probably be more of it would have to start at the supply chain?
It just not necessarily. I mean, it can. I'm just saying that store owner needs to have some incentive to take it, because right now there is none.
Correct.
Like, but if you told him, like, if you knew something that he didn't know, right? You said, hey, there's this person that takes this cryptocurrency, right? And he offers 10% less than what he takes for all his other customers. But if you pay him in this, you get 10%. Now he has an interest in accepting it, right?
For example, I'm going to buy this toilet paper off you with this cryptocurrency. I know your wife has been dying to get a haircut because she hasn't gotten out of the house. I know this hairdresser that is willing to cut her hair for cryptocurrency, $10 off. As a matter of fact, that's the lady that she usually goes to,
Yeah,
or whatever
something
the
like
case
that.
is, right? Yeah, I like that analogy of, because again, for me, if I could spend BSB, I'd be happy. And I think it's the same for you. So I think it's very important as well for people in the BSV community, big influencers, to try to get uh, like Spend My Bit, for example, is a place where you can purchase things with BSV. So I think in my opinion, the most important thing would be to like at least build some type of an infrastructure where people can start selling their goods for BSV. So for example, when I'm gonna get in contact with the people from Spend My Bit, because I think it might be similar to like an Amazon thing where you go ahead and you become a retailer. Like, so for example, I'm here in Miami, I could have my own little retail store through Spend My Bit. They get a certain percentage. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna get in contact with them about that. But that right there is a great way to start getting into the retail space. And if other people, again, retailers are also consumers as well, so they would also in turn, like you said, need to find a place where they can spend their coin at. And how it doesn't sound that hard. Why do you think it's as hard as it's been to get more mass adoption with retail? Like you said, why is it so hard to find something to spend it on?
Well, I think BTC fucked that up for everybody. Freaking Microsoft was taking BTC. Steam, the video game platform, they were taking BTC. That's adoption, right? I mean, that's two huge companies that people use daily. They were taking fucking Bitcoin and they fucked it up. So
how exactly did they fuck that up? Can you give me a little bit of an explanation on that? Just a short thing for somebody like me who doesn't know how they fucked that up.
They think
and
it's a good idea.
How could BSV do that, make a difference if they were to get, called out by a huge corporation?
They think it's a good idea to pay more to get your shit in the next block when, that's more knowledge thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Confirmations is like, there's no reason that those should even exist. There's no confirmations. It's either in a block or a miner has it or they don't, right? So like the idea that you're going to pay more just because of the perception of people have of how something works is just dumb. You want fees to be as low as possible, right? Like that's already a huge problem, right? I mean, credit cards, checks, wires, that stuff's expensive. I mean, I just got hit with like
even Cash App.
I got hit with like a 1% wire fee. I mean, that shit sucks, man.
Yeah. So for every $100, you're paying $1. If you spend $100 in BSV, you're paying like a fraction of a penny.
And the more it is, the more you pay, right? It's crappy. So, why would you pay $10 for a $50 transaction? It doesn't make any sense. So that's one thing with that's going to be different, right? Is that inevitably when some of these companies want to use it, the difference where BTC was like, no, get out of here. You're too big. We don't want you here. We're going to be like, please come, please. And look how low the fees are. So that's going to be the difference.
True. So going back to some of the harder questions, calisthenics, what do? You do burpees? What do you do? Some dips? Run us through the Josh Henslee workout.
Mine's not crazy. It's simple. It's just push-ups, dips, and then some ab stuff. So like you do 8s with your legs or whatever. I don't know what you call that, or like leg raises, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then I'll run like every 3 days, something like that.
How far do you like to run? A couple miles?
About 3 miles.
3 miles. That's good. So have you noticed the difference, like running outside now? Is it like ghost town out there?
No, so many people are out. Many people are out. Yeah, a lot more people are out, I would say.
What did you think about the Michigan thing?
Which the protest?
The big protest in Michigan. That's awesome, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did you see all the memes that came out of that? She was like, it's going to be snowing anyway. So let's snow, government shut down the country. Like, I don't know. And you know what? Actually, I don't care what gets said. What is your, I guess we could almost like kind of cut it off here. And then I want to ask you just a couple more little cool questions, because this has been great. I mean, this has been flowing good. Man, this is like the type of conversation I wouldn't have even minded if we would have just done this over the phone. This was freaking amazing, by the way. Josh Henslee, guys, he is a superstar in the Bitcoin community. Coder, a writer, gets paid well for it on Frog.Vision. What's your take on Corona? What's up, bro? What do you think this whole thing is going on?
I've already got shit for my radical opinions on it, but it's just like
I want to hear.
The government, they have no role in this, right? Like if someone gets the coronavirus, what's the government gonna do? Right? What are they gonna do?
It's your health, isn't that? As a matter of fact, that's supposed to be private, right? That's between you and your doctor, not you, then the government, then your doctor. No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I see where you're getting. Keep on going.
What are they gonna do? They're just gonna make shit worse. They're gonna say, oh, you gotta stay 6 feet apart from everybody. Okay, so that means all the healthy people, you need to stay 6 feet away from other healthy people. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Some cities are talking about you gotta go outside, wear a mask. There's no law that says anyone can tell anyone what to put on their body. I know that sounds like Roger Ver, but I mean, I take these things further, right? Yeah, it's one thing. Okay, someone might say, yeah, you should wear a mask, right? and right now that might sound good, but me, I look at that and I think, okay, what next, right? Do we have to wear these fucking gas masks that people are wearing?
Mhm.
What's after that? Do you need to put a label on me that said I got tested? What's next, right?
Well,
So
even
like,
worse, the injection, right? They
yeah,
want to put the nanobots in you to see
yeah,
if you get tested for corona or not. Good job, Bill Gates.
yeah, man. So like, you know, these things that sound innocent are not so innocent. They just lead to more control, right? That's how they did 9/11, right? At first, go through the metal detector
Patriot
at the
Act.
plane. Next, you're getting the damn metal detector stuck up your ass at the TSA.
Yeah, Patriot
right?
Act, all that shit. Can't take a freaking little
Yeah, man.
shampoo. Can't take hands.
Yeah, man.
So now you have corona. You can't take hand sanitizer on a fucking plane, probably, right?
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense, guys. Good job, USA.
And then,
I love my country.
There's and then second order effects, right? Like the store down the street from me, I've slowly seen it get worse. At first, okay, nothing's bad's happening, right? Everything's fine. Then they put signs on the ground say you gotta stay 6 feet. That's the government though. The government made it do that. Then because of the 6 feet limit, now they're limiting who can go in, how many people can go in the store. So now you got people waiting outside, pissed off to go in the store when there's no one in there.
Yes,
right?
It's ridiculous.
And then what happens? Now you basically limited the supply of the food, right? Because you're limiting the velocity, right? So now people can get less food, and now you incentivize hoarding, right? So now someone's going to go in there and buy all the eggs. Now no one has any eggs, right?
And not only that, what about what about the restaurants? You know how much eggs, milk, and cheese and meat is being thrown away right now?
Yeah, man.
Thrown away.
It's nuts. And they
I'm
can't
in
even sell it.
the hospitality industry, and I, read little things and this and that. And like one big thing is now they're saying like a regular establishment that has a maximum capacity of 200 with the new social distancing bullshit that the government wants to regulate it and take it down to, like, for example, 70. So people are far away from each other enough not to catch a cold. I mean, it's insane. One big person that is really, really awesome, that has a lot of great information if you want to look into some really, really good stuff, is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai.
Oh, yeah.
Guy is a freaking boss. Inventor of email, running for Massachusetts Senate. That guy is amazing. I've been a big fan of him for a long time. So this is, in my opinion, what I said at the beginning, my little radical view on it is this is a test to see if citizens behave good. Good citizen. Little pat on the back. Oh, you guys are doing such a great job. Yeah. But little do you know that social isolation actually damages your immune system.
Yeah.
And then you even get inflammation for not having human contact, and your stress levels when your loved one goes for a common cold to the hospital and you think they have corona and they don't let you see them in case they got corona, and now it's like you're going through that, oh my gosh, they're gonna die and all this stuff. The conspiracy with the $39,000 if they put you on the ventilators that supposedly kill you. These ventilators kill you because you have fluid in your lung and they're high pressure ventilators, so it's almost like dropping you on top of a mountain instantly. In my opinion, it's a soft getting rid of all the weak, preconditioned people that do get it and whatever the tactics they're using. But I think it's a soft rollout. And I'm really watching Michigan. That's why I mentioned it. And I want to see what's happening there, because they supposedly did like an executive order, lockdown order or something of that nature. That's insane.
If someone had the balls, and I've heard about a little bit of this, is that if they took it far enough, they could probably prove that all these orders are illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It just takes someone that has the resources to actually fight and take it through. But it's probably illegal as hell.
Or the masses. You make a big stink like that, I'm sure that lady's not getting reelected.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to go up the pipeline, too. I mean, that shakes up some stuff at the top. I think it's almost like a test. Let's see how long we could keep these people in their house for without them going crazy and revolting on the street.
I don't think there's a conspiracy. I think that it's just overreaction. And then, I mean, those one thing I was thinking about, that $2 trillion bailout or whatever.
Yeah.
if you just run the numbers, man, I mean, how many senators and how many representatives we got? Maybe 600 in total, right? So if you got 2 trillion and you're just going to print it, right? How easy is it for all those politicians to go in the back door to all the companies they bailed out and say, give me a cut, right?
Yep.
And no one will ever know. But now all those senators have an incentive to pass this legislation through. No one thinks about this stuff, right? No one thinks it's possible that people are going to try to manipulate the situation to get money for themselves, right? Like the California governor, that socialist fucker, he
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, man. He went after he locked down the state. He went right around and begged his masters in Washington for money, right? It's hard to see what, that's obvious what he's doing, right? He can say, oh, look, my state's locked down. Please give me money. And also California has the highest tax rates by far in the country.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Probably
so
state,
why does he need more money?
City.
Why does he need more money? The reason he needs more money is because he's fucking handing out
neighborhood
syringes.
Money tax, spend money taxed, give money tax, get money tax, die tax. Everything is tax. It's like the government always has their hands on everything, and now they want their hands in your health and your medicine and what is mandated for you. Like this whole look at the Bill Gates thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, man, I've already been like an anti-vaxxer for a long time. That whatever certain vaxes you need, but dude, I mean, and you can look at like, for example, certain rates that in illnesses that kids have nowadays, as opposed to the 70s when you only had measles, chickenpox, mumps, whatever, But I think it's really, really gone far with that, and that's why I'm always streaming. I could be in my house right now, and I could be on the little green screen with the big headset, but if I'm gonna be out for a long time, dude, I'm stuck in the house all day, So this, in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion. I think it's like a big test just to see how good people behave for how long, and we're already seeing like in Michigan, and I think you're gonna start seeing that way more all over the country. Like I said, here in Florida, they just announced K through 12 done for the rest of the year, and then plus the 2 months of summer.
Babysitters gonna make a killing, man.
I'm telling you, speak easy little daycare centers, speak easy schools. I'm telling you, Josh, I think we should get into business, and we only accept crypto, right? we only accept BSB, but look, I'm sure you'd be a great teacher to a lot of these kids. I'll start turning these kids into adventure capitalists, teaching them how to code.
Yeah,
man. And then forget about sending them back to school, huh? Hey. But yeah, man. I mean, I think this has been a really fun conversation, and just a couple more things. Like, what is just for the people that have made it here so far, and I'm so. I wish I could see if there were any comments. I don't even know if there's anybody in here anymore, but I just, for anybody that's made it this far, tell us a little something about you that nobody in the BSB community knows, or something that would surprise them. Like, wow, I didn't know that about Josh. You got something for us?
If people have met me in person, I'm small, I'm like 5'9", or just average size. I'm the oldest though. I got 2 younger brothers, and they're both like 6'5", 300 pounds. they're giants. And
okay.
That's one thing.
Let's train that right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another. I mean, maybe the gaming stuff, but I've dropped some hints. But yeah, I think that'll be interesting.
The Henslee Gaming Company, huh?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm digging that. I'll be your biggest supporter. Actually, I want to beta test, alpha test. I want to be like, there.
Yeah.
What about CoinGeek? You going to CoinGeek this year?
Yeah, I mean, if they have it, yeah.
What do you think are the chances? I mean, that's freaking October, right?
They should be high, man. I think to your point about the Michigan thing, they're gonna have no choice. Like, I think by May things will start. Now, people still be broke, right? That's gonna be an issue. But I think people will be. All I care about is people being able to go to fucking work and go work at the restaurant. That's the most important thing to me. And I think that's gonna start happening next month.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm
And
looking forward.
while we're talking about conspiracies, one thing that I don't get is like MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL, right? To me, maybe it's the NFL just doesn't feel threatened, but they're losing so much money right now, right? So like, why wouldn't they use their bribing power to kick Washington in the nuts and say, hey, this ain't gonna work?
Because they're also in the pockets. I mean, again, I believe in capitalism, and I know there is crony capitalism as well. Unfortunately, the United States does suffer from crony capitalism, meaning that all these large corporations, when there's certain people in power, they play nice with them. When there's certain people in power, they don't play nice with them. Having a duopoly. I mean, even now you can register as an independent if you want to vote in the primary, right? You have to pick a party. So one big factor that, and another reason I love BSV, I think it is a solution for crony capitalism, for sure. And again, the full transparency. And why would you want to invest? Again, going back to that business model that we talked a little bit about earlier, that United States is the most transparent until Bitcoin. Why wouldn't you want to invest into an American Bitcoin company? But I think, like we talked about, very easy to earn BSV, right? Maybe you're not earning $1,000 a day, maybe you're earning a couple bucks a day, or maybe even more if you're doing something really amazing and you're getting the slash pays. Or even like us, we're doing the whole slash pay, $40 for the friend swag bag. We've done 4 of them. We've only launched it for a day. And we've done
That's
4
awesome.
on-chain transactions. So that for us was like, wow, this is really cool. And there definitely is a market. I think making it easier for there maybe to be like an extension plugin to put, and I know there is a way you just copy the code from the money button and you put it on your web page, do the CSS injection, and boom, there you have the money button. But maybe even going beyond that, having like a card where they could type in their address and then it sends you a Bay mail or something. Or again, I'm not big on making websites. I haven't like tried making a website since I was a kid, and there was like Hot Dog Pro and just plain text HTML and stuff like that. That was like fun to do as a kid. But now with every website just essentially being a hub for links, a hub for videos, and a shop, I think one big thing again would be to market or put it out there how easy it is to accept BSV for your merchandise, for your old video game console that you're selling, for your store that you opened up online. And then with the the exit scam, you can in the future probably even just exit straight out of BSV into fiat, like Jack was saying. Or you could keep your money in the economy and use it on Twetch, right? Hey, Josh, we're gonna be doing this more in the future, man.
Yeah, sure. After some time, more stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I really, really, really hope that like you enjoyed.
Oh yeah, it's great, man.
Talking a little bit conspiracies, and one last time, tell people where they could find you. If you have a webpage, anything of that nature.
Yeah, I do have a website. It's acornstat.com. That's the name of my company. You can reach out to me there, or Twetch, Twitter, Crypto Acorns. But yeah, I'm open to stuff and talking with people.
Anything specific that you're looking for right now? Are you looking for anybody to join your team? Are you looking for certain things that you might want? Do you need a video editor? Are you looking for any type of employment or anything of that nature?
One thing I might need help. Oops. I might need artists, but we'll see.
Digital, just regular
digital.
pen and paper.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I know you're hearing the feedback. I'm trying to turn this off because I have the host up over there. But Josh, man, it was a pleasure. And if you want to stick around for just a few more moments, I want to take down your address because we want to send you one of those friend swag bags if you want one of those.
Oh yeah, man.
Cool with that? All right.
Yep.